Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. I'm excited for this one. It should be a good one at least. The map is Black-Pink. It's a Terran versus Protoss. Let's get introducing up in the top right. It is INnoVation. And you may think, who's a fair opponent for INnoVation? None other than Classic, spawning down in the bottom left, the green Protoss player. So, we've got ourselves a TvP. I'll admit, it's been a while. I've cast a lot of Terran games lately. And I was looking around. I was checking under the couch cushions. I was looking everywhere, checking for replays. We were really scraping the bottom of the barrel. But then, I come along some IEM replays that were released and published. I know some of the games were cast on the official IEM stream and things like that. But I'm casting them here. Not all of them may have been seen. And certainly not everyone will have seen them. So it should be a good one here. I mean, Classic, my favorite thing about Classic, honestly Classic as a salty Terran player in certain eras of StarCraft, Classic was like the guy you didn't cheer for because he was just so good, so solid. But then after watching him just be so solid at the game for so long, you're like, well, you have to always cheer for this guy because he always puts on good games and plays at a very high level. So, and then his opponent, INnoVation, I mean, if you're familiar with Pro StarCraft, INnoVation pretty much bops everyone when it comes down to it. So we'll have to see how he's able to do. I mean, he certainly has his ups and downs, and Classic, I know, is on the rise. I mean, he does incredibly good in a lot of tournaments recently, and that's exciting to see. But then again, INnoVation is INnoVation. That's pretty much a statement on its own. Right now we've got a Reaper on the way for INnoVation, so that's standard getting tongue-tied there. Reaper expand, pardon me. Classic sees it with a probe scout. Went for that pretty early probe scout, wanting to make sure there's no cheeky shenanigans or anything. And then Classic just going for his wall off. Loving how Protoss do this. I mean, they added the back rocks. I believe it wasn't the back jumping pad on this map for the Reapers, and then Protoss are like, all right, and they start building their wall there, and then they may as well not have added it there. So we've now got the Reaper scouting out for INnoVation, checking for anything too cheeky or anything like that. Not going to find anything though. And INnoVation thoroughly scouting because he is trying to go for a triple CC build here. Being very thorough. I assume we'll eventually try to dive into Classic space, but as it goes, I mean, he probably knows that there's a wall there. Classic, going for a relatively quick robo here. This is a pretty standard, pretty safe Protoss build, not going for an Oracle or anything like that. INnoVation is really sort of worried here, by the way, as that Reaper. Pardon me as I mess around with controls here. That Reaper really scouting out. But so far not found anything because there's nothing to see. Classic's just building it all in his natural base here. Getting a Twilight Council, getting up a Robo, so it could be a bit of a pressure build. Maybe with Stalkers, I'd say Adepts if this was a few months ago, but right now Stalkers really are the go-to thing for Protoss. There's a possible nerf coming for them on the way after they were recently buffed, but then there's that nerf on the way. However, right now they're still pretty strong here, and Terran players, they've had some trouble dealing with the sort of mass Stalker Zealot, and I honestly love to see just that sort of nitty-gritty gateway units versus the Terran bio. So that is always fun to see right now. Right now we've got the third CC just about done for INnoVation, so he's happily teching away. He's done this on quite a few low barracks. He's just getting up some more, getting up his production. It will take a while to ramp up, as he did invest in that fast third CC. So it's not like he's going to be moving out quick or anything like that. Going to be getting up his factory, follow it up with the starport, make the reactor on the factory, swap it over, make some medivacs, move out on the map. That's what's on the way for INnoVation. But Classic's aggression that it's looking like may be coming out soon may sort of catch him off guard there. Classic is playing it very safe at the moment. He did go for that very quick robo when he necessarily could have rushed for, say, a quicker blink or something like that, but he went for that quick robo. He got out an observer or two so he can move out on the map. So he wants to know what his opponent's doing. He's going to see the third CC, and I assume that may lead Classic to moving out on the map here, as he's going to see that the, if he does poke in, he'll see that the factory's almost done, or just finishing up, so he won't really have to worry about any harass. But Warp Prism on the way. Classic feeling pretty safe. There he goes. All the Stalkers moving out now. now that he knows that no aggression is coming. INnoVation bunkering up at the front, that's good to see. Wants to be safe here. Classic is moving across the map with these Stalkers. Stalkers with their blink, high mobility, may as well try and get something done. INnoVation already going to have +1, going to have Stim finishing up relatively soon by the time Classic gets here. Unless by some miracle Classic just dives in there, but it seems Classic's not actually poking the front, and it's just moving out to sort of be safe there. I think he might have gone and killed the Reaper. Nope, that guy's still alive at the Watchtower. So Classic maybe looking to poke and prod there a little bit.
Add-on complete.
We'll have to see how this works out for INnoVation. There he goes, going to start Medivac production. Getting his +1 armor on the way. Classic is on double forge, so his upgrades were later overall. However, it's double forge. Chrono boost is very good for Protoss. Look at that, he starts chrono boosting him out right as I say that, because you want to get those upgrades out as quick as possible. I mean, you spend the money on them, you may as well try and have them be useful as quick as you can. Classic warping in some zealots somewhere. Pardon me, where was that? Let's find those zealots here. So he's warping some zealots in the warp prism. So he's going to hit INnoVation's main base, which is relatively exposed. INnoVation is moving out, wanting to secure his third. Classic will see that instantly because of this observer and its fancy new observer mode. And now that cues INnoVation, or cues Classic to move in with the warp prism. INnoVation, a few Marines, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough here. These are +1 Marines, so INnoVation should be able to clean this up. He's got some Marauders coming in as well. Gonna try and right-click on that warp prism. Focuses it down, however, the Zealots did get warped in, so he is gonna have to sort of kite back versus these very tanky Zealots. They're gonna take a while to die. However, INnoVation will clean it up with relative ease, and then Classic poking in, trying to get a little bit of damage done here by using that blink, having that mobility. The Reaper trying to get a shot in there too, but ultimately just dies. Should have just kept his mouth shut and not done anything there. INnoVation very oversaturated at his natural. We'll be able to transfer those SCVs right away. That's a pretty important move for him. Right now, INnoVation is ahead on supply. So we'll have to see how this is going to work out for him. Classic's gone for a bit of poking and prodding, but so far in this game, INnoVation has really gotten away with greed without any sort of recompense, I believe is the word. Or yeah, so he's really gotten away with that. 2-2 is on the way right now for Classic, so he's chrono boosting that out. Right now, the players are equal on upgrades as INnoVation's +1 finishes up. Now, versus Bio, versus Masterminds, the upgrade advantage does really help the Protoss player. Oh, Classic's actually moving forward. Will he spot this Widowmine? Oh, he identifies, so just a little too late there. Right now we've got INnoVation preparing for a move out, and this is a very scary move out for INnoVation. This could honestly just be something that is game ending right now. However, Classic counterattacking may actually pull INnoVation back. This is such a good move. INnoVation splits his army so he can try and intercept these Stalkers as they retreat, and he actually may be able to do that. That would be a very big pick off. Classic honestly is going to need to recall here. Blink is still on cooldown. Not sure where these Stalkers are going to go. They're caught in the corner. Recall for Classic is going to bleed off about 3 to 4 of those Stalkers did die there. This game alone, there has been 7 Stalkers and 6 Zealots dead for not much damage. He killed a few SCVs there, but yeah, just a few. Right now, Classic is teching up. He's getting up. He's got out of Templar Archives. No Psystorm, though he's making these Archons as he knows he's going to have to defend INnoVation's push. He's trying to secure the 4th base right now. The Classic is down on army value at the moment. However, his 2-2 is going to be finishing up much quicker than INnoVation's 2-2, so that's the power of Chrono Boost. Classic also just been staying on top of those upgrades. INnoVation teching now. He's already getting +1 ship weapons. He's already getting a fusion core, so that screams Liberators. And now INnoVation looking to poke the Observer for Classic did cross over that army, so he should know that it's moving towards his base. INnoVation may be able to cancel his 4th base. There's a lot of pylons there. Classic is going to go for it. There's so many Widowmines. We'll see, a lot of those Zealots being absolutely slaughtered there. I mean, sometimes Protoss can just tank through the Widowmines, but Classic leading off a lot of those Zealots. There's some Archons, though, still to do the tanking. There's an Immortal or 2 in the back, firing away. 1 or 2 of the Archons have gone down, and actually all 3 of them have fallen now. Classic, though, warping in more Zealots is going to push INnoVation back right now. So Classic managing to clean that up. However, he lost a lot of Zealots in that fight. 32 Zealots have gone down in this game. I know there were 6 dead before, but that's something like 28 Zealots that died there. I mean, maybe not all there, but that's a lot of dead Zealots in that fight. Army supply, Classic is behind. Both players have fallen. Classic still has the 2-2 lead, but that's actually going to be expiring right now, as INnoVation's own 2-2 will be finishing up, and it could be a little ballsy for Classic to go in right now. Yes, a lot of the Widow Mines were reduced, however, INnoVation has been turning them out. Classic actually catching INnoVation off guard a little bit right now. Getting on top of the unsieged Liberators. The Mines burrow once again immediately there. Gonna kill off some more of the Zealots. Classic spilling into the natural, sort of just hitting everywhere. However, he's a little bit split up right now. Yeah, there was a good fourth field, but LaughNgamez in at his third base. More Zealots are moving in. Gonna close the gap. Tank for those Immortals there. SCVs are pulled to do some tanking for INnoVation as well. Right now it's a bit of a scrappy fight right in INnoVation's natural. Classic cleaning up a lot of units here. However, I'm not sure he's going to have enough. He's going to have to get out of those Liberator positions. He's going to blink to try and take care of them. However, the Immortals are falling. He evacuates one of them in the War Prison. Picks off one or two of the Liberators. However, Classic did not get the damage done that he wanted right now. And now you're a Protoss who's going to have maybe 1 or 2 Gateway Warpins, and you're going to have to deal with a Terran counterattack, which I believe INnoVation will throw Classic's way. INnoVation lost a few SCVs there, however, he's sitting in quite a good situation. He's on 60 workers still, as he's been producing SCVs non-stop. He's got a 4th base up. Classic has his own 4th base up. However, Protoss players, they generally like to have an advantage somewhere, and Classic doesn't have that really. He's going to have 3-3 on the way soon. And when I say on the way, I mean almost finishing up. However, there is a bit of room for INnoVation maybe to hit a timing or something like that. Classic, loving the choice for Psystorm. I am, as someone who plays Terran, Protoss, and Zerg, I mean, one of my favorite things to do as Protoss is to get up to Storm and just try and rain down on any army that you can. Right now we've got Classic is at 3-3. He's rebuilt some Immortals. Love Immortals too. I mean, they deal out so much damage. They're quite good. There's no particular hard counters for Immortals. Yes, Liberators obviously, because they can't shoot up, but Immortals just, they deal a lot of damage. They're quite tanky. Their barriers can absorb oh so much damage. Classic looking to take a 5th base at the moment, it seems too. INnoVation may actually identify that in time. Although Classic was maybe just moving south as a precaution. They're not actually looking to secure that base just yet. Stargate on the way for Classic, so he's already thinking ahead later in the game. He's already thinking to the stage in which INnoVation will be making a lot of Liberators, so I better make a lot of Tempest, or get some Tempest at least to push them back. It's a bit odd. We haven't seen too many Terran versus Protoss get to that stage. There was a time in the meta in which Terrans would say, alright, I'll make Liberators. Protoss would say, okay, I guess that means I'll make Tempest. And then the Terran would say, alright, I guess I'll try making Ghosts and Vikings and see how the game plays out from there. But it's been a while since we've seen that. Lately, it has been a lot of Gateway units, Zealots and Stalkers, fighting versus the Liberators, because the buff to the Stalkers really helped versus Liberators. Speaking of Liberators, that's a ranged one, denying a lot of mining on Classic space there. Now 10 kills, that's why Classic made a Phoenix there, just to take care of that. INnoVation identifies the 5th base on the way. He's moving out. There was some Templar that were actually caught by Classic. I'm not sure what happened there. That was a horrible misrally, and that is going to have cost Classic so much. He's warping in more Templar, however, they will not have Storm. I was not paying attention there, honestly, but apparently neither was Classic. Having those high Templar caught, that takes out so much of the AoE in his army right now, so Classic could be in a very tough spot. There's so many Liberators. This is going to be 3-3 by relatively soon. If he fights right now, he'll have an upgrade advantage, and he may just have to capitalize on top of that. INnoVation's 3-3 will be finishing very soon, and I'm not sure if Classic can take a fight when that is finished up. He's going to have to get a good surround here. Some Storm will be ready in just a second here. The Templar are building up energy, and they do actually have enough right now, so Classic's going for a fight. INnoVation is very pumped up right now. Classic going underneath the Liberators, however, there's so many churning through the Stalkers there. Most of the Liberators have gone down. Classic even storming on top of them, so all the air is gone. Now Classic just needs to deal with a bit of ground bio left on the ground. INnoVation is being pushed back right now. INnoVation doing his best to kite back, however, he is sort of on the run there. Classic is down on army supply though in this game. We'll see if INnoVation consolidates. Classic will have to retreat here. These Zealots are going to get caught out. INnoVation actually just, his units were just walking in there. Classic is going to take a fight right now. 4 Immortals is a lot of damage versus the ground. There's only a few Stalkers that to deal with this. In Classic, the second he starts to retreat, his Immortals start falling, and he does not have too much there. The supply is 50 in the lead for INnoVation. INnoVation reconsolidating there, and he just has so much more of an army than Classic. Classic sort of went all for nothing. They're trying to sort of snowball against INnoVation, but it did not work. He's warping in some Archons. He's even bringing his one Phoenix. He had a Templar or two there go for a feedback, killed off some of the Medivac. However, right now Classic's 5th base is vulnerable. INnoVation is already on his own 5th base, so Classic can't really afford to lose this. He's engaging into Liberators once again. INnoVation doing a good job focusing down one of those Archons. However, Classic does force INnoVation back once again. He really can't pursue this, though. There's so many Liberators there, and Classic does need to pull back. He kept the 5th base alive, though it was getting relatively weak. But the question is, will he be able to hold on any longer? INnoVation getting that Ghost upgrade, and 5 Ghosts along the way with it. He will be able to rain down EMP, and looking at this, I believe that one Phoenix went down, and that's actually going to leave nothing to shut down these Liberators, so Classic's mining is about to get cut down. He sees those Liberators, though, and he's preemptively making Phoenix. INnoVation's looking really scary right now. Classic, I mean, he's had a good hold so far. He's warped in some more High Templar. However, INnoVation's getting the counter to those on the way. He's done a good amount of damage to Classic's economy. He's at 200 supply right now, so INnoVation is maxed out, as a matter of fact, and Classic is far away from it. He's at about half the army supply. He really is just going to need to bulk up that supply here, but Storm is good. We'll just have to see if Classic can get on top of this army for INnoVation, but INnoVation with Ghosts, I'm sure he's going to land most of these EMPs right now. Scanning ahead just to see this. Classic sees there's Ghosts, but it may be a little too late. He pulls the Templar back over. Now they're running into Liberation zones. EMP has gone down on every single one but one High Templar. He storms the Liberators, but that's it. GG gets called. Classic falling to INnoVation there, so well played by INnoVation, managing to bring down Classic in a TvP. So that was quite the game there. I mean, INnoVation, Liberation Zones were sort of the MVP for that game. Classic didn't have quite what he needed to deal with them, and then he sort of was whittled away. If Classic, I mean, at Starcraft, if he had an extra 20 seconds, another warp, and some of those fights could have gone completely the other way, but ultimately, INnoVation was more or less fine on his side of the map the entire game. He was a pretty happy Terran in the regards to macro, even getting up a 6th base. So, Classic certainly tried his best, but ultimately wasn't able to hang on. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the cast, feel free to leave a like, feel free to subscribe. I am trying to break that 1K subscriber mark. And if you have any casting feedback, feel free to let me know. I've been at it a while now, but I'm always trying to improve, and it really helps if you actually know what you need to improve on. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.